Gary, we've certainly had some memorable victories across the course of this season, but fair to say that yesterday's was added quite prominently to that list. A high-quality opponent under sunny skies in front of a big crowd at home, and the boys dug deep to prevail by 20 points in the semi-final against Footscray. You must be on a high, but still obviously being pretty quick to shift your focus onto the next task at hand.
Yeah, obviously pretty happy, Sam. You know, you want to come here in a cutthroat final and you don't want to exit out in straight sets, which we've sort of done that before, but from a boys' point of view, they certainly dug deep. They were very resilient, I thought, and Footscray are a bloody good side, and they came out of the blocks, even though we scored the first goal. But I thought what was important was momentum changing times within quarters, and late in the first, we were able to get back almost level pegging, and they kicked 5 in the first quarter and then 7 goals, I think 13 for the rest of the game. So overall, really pleased. We had a good day weather-wise, and if you weren't kicking goals and playing a pretty good brand of footy under those conditions, you probably couldn't. But both sides really need to be commended on the effort and what we served up, and I think it was a good game to be watching on TV as well, so good advertisement for VFL finals.
You and the coaches indicated that you were pretty disappointed in some of the efforts in the loss to Box Hill, and you did make 3 changes, but on the whole, were you happy with the way the boys responded and went about tidying up some of those areas of focus from the previous week?
Yeah, we were, and obviously Mitchy Wolferton coming in, I thought he was terrific at the end of the day, and obviously Mitch Golby in that regard was unlucky. Ash Cracker in for Cal Searle. We thought Cal did enough the week before to suggest that he could be a pretty reasonable VFL player, and we just wanted to go for a little bit more run with Ash through the midfield, and Lockie Waddell is a genuine ruckman rather than Clarkey, and they're a tall side, Footscray, so we've got to try and match them in some areas. The ability of the boys to, I guess, tighten things up, beating around the stoppages, beating in the air at certain times. But overall, I think we were forcing the Western Bulldogs or Footscray side to have shots from goal out wide or long shots, and they're always under a degree of pressure as well. So you'd like to think the degree of difficulty is a bit greater. But overall, that time before half-time, we defended really well. Brody Mychek must have got to about 5 or 6, obviously, opportunities there just to defend, and I thought he was terrific. So there was a lot of guys that stepped up, and we needed that because we probably only had a handful of winners the week before.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the historical journey of our development league side, has come to an end as they went down to Williamstown by 4 goals. Disappointing for those boys to lose in that manner. But overall, do you want to maybe elaborate on the season that they've had and some of the individuals who might have impressed you as they aim to take the next step in their careers from this point on?
Yeah, look, it is. It's like anything when it comes to an end, and unfortunately the decision is out of our hands. But we should be very proud of what the boys were able to achieve this year. It's sometimes pretty difficult to be toiling away in the reserves, as it used to be called, and now it's called, or was called, Development League. And we probably, for 3 parts of the year, were almost the best side, but we've only won, I think, 2 out of our last 5, and we just sort of stalled that momentum, really. And I think some guys that had been good in the early and middle parts then just sort of didn't really impact as much as we would like, whether it was injury, the way their pre-seasons turned out, although I guess we lost a few through injury with Dill Van Oonen, Dale Horton, and also to Tommy Gordon get suspended. So that's probably half your defence goes missing. And really the guys that have impressed me throughout the course of the season has been Anthony Vella, even though he's probably been somewhat quiet in the last month. I think Sammy De Souza by and large has improved because he hasn't played that much footy over the course of his short VFL career, and he missed last year with 12 months obviously. I think Mitch Hayes has been really solid and consistent this year. Obviously Harvey Hooper had a really good patch throughout the middle of the year, and he's been able to sustain that by being pushed up into the seniors. At different times I think Michael Wen's shown enough improvement as a ruck, and Chris Carey had a bit of a taste of senior footy as well. Sam Michael going as a 23rd. Timmy Knowles, I think, has had a really good year across that half-back line. And look, it is tough on the likes of Josh Tyne and Mitch Golby, obviously Matty Arnott, Izzy Conway, Al Urban, although Alex almost chopped his thumb off there with a work accident and then got a little bit of metal in his eye, so he probably hasn't had the most consistent season. But Jeremy Gleeson certainly threatened a little bit. You know, David Yacarino's just been toiling away all year and hasn't played really outside the first game of the year. So it's a credit to all those boys, and it's disappointing. I think our coaching staff deserve a pat on the back too, led by Trent McMicken. But yeah, we did fall a little bit short, although it does give us a good base, hopefully going in certainly this week and possibly beyond for what we want players to do, and that's play footy every week.
And just very quickly on that point as well, what's the training schedule or training commitments required for the playing list from here on in? Do you plan on having all hands on deck in support of the seniors this week?
No, we won't from a training perspective, put it that way. We'd like all the boys to be certainly around the club that are going to be potentially missing out because they've been part of it throughout the course of this year. But we'll trim the squad to the ones that we think are a chance, and certainly we're not really looking any further than this week, obviously. So it'll be a recovery and debrief tonight, good session on Wednesday, good session on Friday, and then of course we'll hit the ground here at Fort Burn Stadium on Sunday.
Yep. And finally, so our seniors are left standing to represent the club in 2017, and Williamstown are their opponents too this week. So many sub-stories of the standalone status of the two clubs, the tradition of the rivalry, and also perhaps your good mateship with Colo. But ultimately, the prize this week is a grand final berth. What do you make of them at this early stage of the week? They obviously finished top for a reason and will be very, very hard to beat.
Oh, my word, look, they're a class outfit. Andy's done a super job with them again. They certainly, I don't think, have fallen any shorter than a prelim, I think, in the time that he's been at the helm. So that's a wonderful effort. You know, they've got terrific players on every line, and their leadership with Ben Jolly and obviously Marcon and Meese in the middle, and Willie Wheeler's had a terrific year, and of course Sipos and Cordy and Donnell. So yeah, Gibbons is a class player. So, and their back line's been really, really good. They got on a roll, and I think they won probably 11 or 12 in a row, and he rested a couple against Casey late in the season, but they don't finish top for, as you know, anything but because they've been the best in the competition. So now it comes down to the 2 hours on Sunday, and we give ourselves a chance. We had a really good game out here about middle of the year, and it ended up being only a couple of points. So we certainly think that we can improve. But we've certainly got to be able to bring our best, and no doubt Andy will be feeling pretty confident having the week off, so we've just got to match their intensity in and around the ball, I think.
Well, Gary, thanks for your time as always today. Enjoy all the fanfare surrounding the build-up to this week, and what can we say other than go the Borough?
Yep, who are we, Sam?